Hey guys, this is Alex from Kingsway Church production team. Just want to do a video series here on Lightkey and how we do lighting for worship set and worship service. So in this first video, I'm going to kind of explain a little bit of what Lightkey is, how we're using it, how we set it up, go through the different fixtures that we use, and then in further videos, we'll go through running a song, programming a song, some more in-depth stuff. So let's first just start here by looking over our main screen. So you can see here we have our fixture window here that kind of shows us a preview of what's going on the stage. And all of our fixtures. Over here we have preset groups for those fixtures that we use to create all of the different cues that you see in the cue list. And we do use an actual cue list. You can write Lightkey with just, like buttons and kind of run it manually. You can see here in one of the more recent updates to Lightkey, they allowed it so you can have button cues on one side and a cue list kind of in the same page. Some of you that maybe have used Lightkey before, you wouldn't have seen that because they didn't always have that option, but this really works well for us to give us a hybrid kind of way of doing things where we can, run things to a cue list, but some of our more experienced techs can kind of add some different things in there for different songs, things for worship nights as well as, things kind of flow a little bit more, aren't really set up to what the songs look like and whatnot. So like I said, we use this cue list here. We cue out all of our songs to the clicking guide. So we're using multi-tracks from Ableton. And so the same clicking guide that the band is hearing, our lighting tech is also hearing back here at the booth. And so they're advancing cues based on what they're hearing from the lighting tech. If we're doing a song where we don't have cues or whatnot, they're also listening to the MD for those cues to kind of make those decisions and whatnot. So it gives us the ability to be somewhat flexible, but also still have a plan in place. We do have some of these cued out by ProPresenter as well as some of the actual like different parts of our sermon and bumper videos. Those come from ProPresenter just so they're timed properly, but we don't we don't have our cues for the songs automated by Ableton. I just feel like it gives us a little bit more freedom. If the band gets off the click or if we do something different, we still have a lighting tech here to control for these parts. So that's basically how we have this set up. So let's go through all of the different fixture groups that we have. If you see here, I have different faders for all of the different fixture groups. You'll see them on the camera I have pointing at the stage. You'll see them come on. You'll also see them illuminate up here on the preview. So let's start with the first one. So this is just our band wash. So we have four Source 4 Lakos, just like the standard lighting, conventional fixtures. We also have this one that's hitting that one platform off to the right. We have a total of 8 of them, and we use different ones. If I do a full wash, they'll all turn on. So we use different ones for preaching, different ones for worship, different ones for different things. So you can see I have a couple different wash presets for those. But typically we're on the band wash one. Our next one here is our floor wash. So these are a couple, it looks like 4, but there's a couple tied together just to save some DMX channels. These are ADJ U bars, I believe they're called. And they are at the lip of our stage. They are just pointing at the back wall. They give us like a nice glow. We'll typically, by the end of the song, they might be at like a full blast kind of thing, or we'll use it for a moment where our front lights are off to give like a glow on the back of the stage kind of thing. Sometimes we'll set it to like a white. So these just do dimmer and color. They don't move or zoom or do anything fancy, but they do add a lot to the look of things. So our next one here is our stage wash. That's what I call them. They're kind of like uplights, or not uplights, hair lights. So they kind of come down. These are movers. They're the Boulder 19 by 15 washes. They're the variable white fixtures. So they don't do color other than you can change the white on them. So those are really cool for using them for hair lights during the sermon. Sometimes during worship, like when it gets to a big part of a song, I'll just kind of turn them on just to bring up the overall lighting a little bit, just to kind of, push us into a bigger section of a song. Sometimes I'll tighten them up and move them around for like a different spot on like our keys or something. So I do have some different like presets in here. Like if I have this key spot, that's typically where our keys are. Obviously that's too bright, but they can kind of move around and do different features and whatnot. Sometimes if we have like an intro of a song that has keys and electric guitars on that back platform, we'll use that preset to kind of do like a cool thing with the front lights off, our front wash off. And then our next set here, let me close this up, is our house lights. So these are all shown right here. So we have a couple different things. They are all conventional. They don't do anything special. They're just straight up dim, and they're pretty warm. They're not my favorite. Hopefully getting them replaced at some point in the next year or so to something that we can actually do full color control over, just to help. It looks pretty different in here compared to the stage lighting and the house lighting. Also, they're not very bright. I mean, this is full 100%. It's still pretty dark in here. So sometimes for different events, they want to have a little bit more light. But that is that. We also have our blinders, which you can see up top there. They're also right here on the screen. We use them sparingly, for certain parts. If there's like a hit in a song, we'll use them to kind of just add some movement. Sometimes if, a song's really big and I want to just take it to that next level, I'll add them in just to add some overall light on the stage kind of thing. And then our next group is our top washes. So you can see they're up here on the truss. They are kind of our main, like backlighting kind of thing. So we use these quite a lot. They are the Shourds, the 19 by 15 washes. So similar to the Boulder ones, but they are full color. They don't do variable white, but they're movers. They zoom. These are fantastic lights, especially for the price. We haven't really had any issues with them. We've had them for almost 2 years now, and they've run great. The fan noise, a lot of people ask about that. They're not too bad on them. Some of the other fixtures have a little bit of fan noise, but these are actually pretty quiet. And so, we have different color presets. They can do all different kinds of colors. They can do, we have different position presets that also have like the zoom built into it. So we can do, like a wide wash if I want to do like a tighter fan in kind of thing. Just different position presets. We don't usually have our lights move during a song. We do dimmer effects and zoom effects, but we don't really do any moving heads as an effect kind of thing. So usually we're just using one of these per song to just kind of preset. We might change, for a certain part of a song, we might go to a different thing, but they're never moving for effect, that kind of thing. So those are awesome. And then we have our top spots. So these are also a Shourds fixture. These are the 160 watt ones. So these give us kind of like a textural piece. They have gobos in them. Let me pull that up. So they can do, different kind of like texture. They also, they have different colors in them. They have rotating gobos, which just gives us like a nice kind of textural effect. So we'll use them throughout songs, sometimes with a gobo, sometimes without, depending on the song. I missed our up lights, which are here. So these are our up lights. So they are for Shourds 100 watt spots. So they do the same thing. They have gobos, they have colors, they have rotating. So these are usually pointed up and out. We have them pointing at the ceiling so they don't hit anybody in the face. None of our lights come out towards the congregation. That's another decision that we made to, I know that's kind of like a thing right now, but we've decided we don't like that look, and so we just keep our lights so they point up towards our balcony, but they're hitting a spot where it's not going to hit anybody in the face. So we use them for a texture element. It's kind of, towards the end of the song. And then we have our wall washes. So those are 5 of the Shourds wall wash bars. Those do have a pretty loud fan in them, as well as the top spots that I showed before. They are also very loud. We don't use the top spots anything other than worship, because if they're on during a sermon, you'll hear the fans pretty loudly. But the wall washes are great. They just do, dimmer and color. And so we'll use them to kind of create the color for each song. And the last set of fixtures I have, let me bring our house lights back up here, is our freedom sticks. So I turn them on here, but they're not charged right now, so you're not going to see them, but just so you can see where they're at, they kind of create like a little look around the stage kind of thing. So they just kind of point, out, and sometimes we'll use them. They usually do like some kind of dimmer effect, just moving in and out kind of thing. But yeah, so that's all the different fixtures that we use, and this is how we kind of set Lightkey up. So like I said, we're pretty much in this cue list most of the time. All of these faders and stuff, all of these buttons here are mapped to MIDI controller. We have an APC Mini that we use to advance the cues. So if you see those things moving without me moving the mouse, that's what I'm doing. You can't see that in the shot. But yeah, and so our lighting texts are just kind of advancing cues through a song, unless we're doing something a little bit different. So that's how we have Lightkey set up. That's kind of the basics of it. In the second video, we'll go through and actually run through one of the songs and what that looks like.